Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I have this organ here that was picked up off the side of the road. These organs don't normally go for much money online, so I was just thinking of keeping it. I have had organs in the past, also from the side of the road, but this one is of much higher quality. There are many controls on it and it's made by Kimball. I think which was founded in the 1800s, mid to late 1800s, which is pretty cool. I'm really not sure what the name of this organ is. I know Kimball is the brand, but there's just so many labels on it, like Paul Hayward, Syntha Swinger 1000, The Entertainer. This might be a name badge of someone who purchased it, but I'm really not sure. Syntha Swinger 1000 does show up some results on Google, so I assume that's the model, and 1000 is like how high-end it is. The Entertainer, I think, is the lineup. But before we get into this, here's the chair that came with it. It's a bit damaged. There is a hole here, probably just from wear. It's gross. There are some things inside this chair. Super songs for everyone, easy play music speed, so there's some tutorials. Easy play today, Willie Nelson. So there's some more music you can play, and here's the good thing, because this sure won't show up on Google, is the owner's guide for this organ. In here it tells you how to use it, but it also shows all the models from low end to high end, but it doesn't show the one that this is. So I assume that this may have been purchased afterwards, because it says here 1978 and 1979, but I opened it up and there was a service tag from 1976. This one has some very surprising features. It does work. I did try it out. Then you may notice there is a vent on the side. Now, what could that possibly be for? That is for a Leslie speaker. This has a Leslie speaker inside it. And here is the cable, and now I'm going to plug it in. Okay, so the organ is on. And you can probably hear some strange washing machine noise. And that is actually the Tremolo speaker. It's on fast right now. It's a bit less loud on that note. But I'm going to select some noises or sounds. And you can hear, if I go onto washing machine mode, compared to it slow, it sounds really nice. And I'm not really sure if there's any way to actually turn this off. There's just fast and slow. There's also a keyboard down here. I think they use it for more bass notes, or like chords, and then you play notes up here. Not an organ professional. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me how to do it, but if you put it on TV at Forte, it's a bit louder. I think the F stands for Forte. I'm not going to touch the volume pedal. It's at like the lowest it can go, and it's still pretty loud, and it's extremely scratchy. So it just puts pops and crackles everywhere. I'll need to hit it with some contact cleaner. The bass pedals, the foot pedals work. It's rattling these glass doors. They can hear there's some stuff down here. I think this is for music beats. So if I press Syntha rhythm or something, and then here, and then there's lots of noise with this. If you want to play a song on here and you need something, some beat to go to, you can see there is a light here. And also, these are all illuminated, so I'm not really sure why the previous owner put stickers here. I'll need to clean that off. That's permanent, but you can see there are some lights here and here. There are meant to be ones all above here. They're actually, if you can see, there are actually holes, but all of the bulbs are probably blown. It sounds pretty nice. It's relatively loud. I mean, it's on minimum volume here, and you know, since it's at home, that's probably all you really need. The most interesting part is when you switch it to fast and slow, it actually sounds like a washing machine. I just thought that was pretty funny. I think it has either 2 motors or one with different coils or something. I'm not sure if this is real wood or a vinyl. I mean, some parts feel like real wood, other parts don't. I mean, you can see there's some water damage here. You know, it's solid, but I'm not sure if it's plywood or MDF. Maybe I should practice some organ. And under here, there's this strange wooden lever. I'm really not sure what it does. It feels like a 2-way switch. You can probably hear a little click somewhere in there, but I really don't know what it does. I'm guessing it has to do, maybe it has to do with these vibrato effects. I can't really get these to work. If I even know how to use this, it seems like lots of these controls are controlled by here. Now, I'm guessing the wiring's all over the place in these. So I guess I'll show you inside. Just one last thing before I do show you. I completely forgot. We have reverb here, and you might think it might just be some digital reverb. But you'd be surprised to find inside that this is actually spring reverb. So it's all analog, which I think is pretty cool. And here we have the logo on the back, Kimball Piano and Organ Company, Jasper, Indiana. I don't know what these model number and serial numbers mean. And something weird, it says voltage 117 volts, but in Australia it's, you know, 230 to 240, so I guess there has to be a step-down transformer inside this. Once you get the back off, here is all of the circuitry and stuff inside. There is so many circuit boards in here that if this didn't work, I would not even know where to start. Yes, there is a step-down transformer. It kind of looks like the ones you get at J-Car. That is the foot box that I need to fix the scratchy potentiometers in. There's some sort of heatsink here, probably for power amp. Lots of capacitors, lots of wires, lots of resistors, lots of diodes. Check out that. And here is the Tremolo speaker. No way. This is actually a Leslie Tremolo unit, so I was right. This is not a rip-off. This is a real Leslie Tremolo unit. The speaker has this pillow of some sort on the back to stop the sound coming out the side interfering with the sound coming out the back, just to give it more of that effect. You can see this is the motor that spins the I guess shroud in front of the speaker that changes the sound. And this here, I don't know if you can see, there's something vibrating inside it. That's because this is spring reverb. This is the spring reverb unit that creates, I guess, the reverb. Duh. But here's the first speaker. I think this is the, I don't know if it's the mid-high bass speaker, but it's a 12-inch, and it attaches to that shroud or drum You can just see it through the gap there. I'm not going to take this thing apart. I don't want to break it, but it's actually made of polystyrene to make sure it's light. And still, this thing is pretty noisy, even though it's pretty light and not made out of something like metal or wood or something like that. There is a secondary speaker up there. That looks like an old speaker with a square magnet on it. Another 12-inch, but I just noticed, wow, that is also full to the brim of circuit boards that all look identical. I wonder if that has anything to do with all the different sounds on the front. The top appears to come up, but it doesn't, and it's determined by this tab here. So I will need to remove this. And there's just so many things to cover with this. If I miss anything, I'll definitely put it down in the description. And any help on what to do, like turning off the Leslie, or what that weird bar at the front is, that would be much appreciated. But you pull this, and then this comes up. Okay. Wow, who could have guessed? Even more circuit boards. And here are the tiny little light globes up here. It looks like just to distribute the light, they've just put some silver paint up there, but it looks like if you want to change these, you've got to take off this weird felt strip. Serviceman caution, turn off organ before removing PC boards. I mean, who could have guessed? Used to ground LSI strap and test instruments, so I assume this just goes straight to ground. Ooh, that is useful-ish. You can see this is the preamp. I think this is the preamp. And then underneath that is the accordion, I guess, ACCPD voice, whatever that is. Then the solo voice, underneath that, the string voice. Then here the percussion voice, the repeater, and then the filter amplifier underneath. All of this doesn't mean anything to me. I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, just one of these components could be bad and ruin the whole thing, and I wouldn't even know. If I want to get these lights fixed, then I guess I'll have to replace them, but it looks like the wiring is just held together with a bit of tape here. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Again, I don't know. And while we're here, I just must say, these switches are very satisfying to press. If you like clicking switches, and you know, these switches are very nice to the touch. There's a little latch right here that latches onto that down there, and it'll click into place. And then to secure it down, you just push that back in. And something weird you can see on the speaker are these pieces of dirt, and you might originally think, okay, it's dirty, but it's not dirt, actually. It's iron, because it's attracted to the magnet on the back of this speaker. So if I get some of it, it just attaches itself to the magnet, which is really weird. Like, where did this come from? Like, over the years, you know, so much would have happened, but it seems a bit strange just to get chunks of iron attached to a magnet, unless if it was like at the bottom of a lake or something. And here's this sticker for those who want to read it. I'm not really sure how well that comes out on camera. Probably not very well, but if you have an old one of these and the label's fallen off, that might give you some good information on how to fix it. There is so much dust in this that I feel like I'm going to catch a disease that got eradicated many centuries ago. But I really don't know where the main amp is. You know, I'm guessing it's just this large heatsink there. RCA 7732 somethings. This thing is a whole nother level of jank. Well-made jank, you know. They were trying to overcome the limitations of things before everything was digital and everything could be made into tiny little microprocessors. The gap here is still too small to get my phone through, but maybe I can just take a closer look at that. No, you can't see anything, which is a shame. Oops, I forgot to press record. Okay, I'm gonna go through this manual again. We start off with the Superstar 3, and it's probably one of the more basic ones. It comes in a traditional walnut. Then we have the Valencia, which is slightly higher end, but it has a few more controls, but pretty similar. This really reminds me of the first organ I ever had, which came from an op shop. It was tube preamp, so it sounded all right, but the problem is that those tubes eventually died soon after I got it, and all you could hear was like a loud hum. The problem was that you couldn't just take the tubes out and replace them because they had metal covers on them, but it's been in there for so long that they kind of fused together, and then you couldn't see which ones they were in order to replace them. So Mum ended up selling it on eBay for 99 cents because no one wants these things. Then we have the Aquarius, which is probably the waterproof model. This is the first one that comes in two styles, the traditional walnut and the Italian provincial, which has a fancy holder. I'm not really sure what you call them. Then we have the Performer here, which looks like the same tier as this one. It has a similar amount of controls, but this again is made after this organ. So all the models are slightly different. But what confuses me is can you see how it says the Entertainer here? It says the Entertainer 3, but this is newer. So did they go backwards in generations or something? I'm really not sure. You can see the controls are moved around. Then we have the Temptation, which is the first one that kind of gives you a Chesterfield style seat. I'm just going to see, can you see the Leslie speaker? Okay, the Temptation is the first one that has the Leslie speaker, so maybe this one is more on par with this, because the other ones didn't contain the Leslie speaker. Yeah, the other ones did not have the Leslie speaker, so it's probably on par with this one. Then we get fancy with the Paradise, and they begin to add these curved elements around the controls that look very theatrical. And it looks like here that the seat has two slabs of wood instead of just four skinny legs. Oh wait, no, that one has it too, but probably much more stable than the Sensation, which has even more controls. Back in the day, this would have cost an absolute fortune. Then there's the Stardust, which then has these Hammond style, surround controls. This one appears that, I don't know, but the pedals look attached to the seat, but I'm not sure if that's just how it's pushed in for ergonomics or something. Then the Fascination, I'm pretty sure it's the highest end one. Look at this. I'm pretty sure Theatre Persimmon is the color. I can't really see the Leslie speaker on this one, but it looks very high end. I'll just take a look here. All of these controls. Look at that. It's a shame these really aren't worth anything anymore. Yep, this is the Tibia Tremolo. When you press the tab, the Tibia voices seem to project out of the room, adding a feeling of spaciousness to your music. At the fast speed, the effect is reminiscent of old theatre organ. On models having 2 speeds, the slow setting will remind you of a concert hall or a huge cathedral. That's pretty cool. The expression pedal is located near the floor toward the right side of the organ. This pedal regulates the loudness of all the organ voices, regardless of how individual volume tabs and slide controls may be set. Yeah, I need to adjust that. PP very soft. Haha, very funny. And even the PP is relatively loud for, a house. If you're in a very large room, doing a performance, I guess it will make sense to crank it up all the way. But, not really sure how much the old circuitry would take it anymore. And guess while we're here, these are the screws for the back plate. But how to fix if you've got wobbly legs on the stands, what you do is you just twist these. Of course, these are all tightened up, but when I had them, they were like here, and the legs were all over the place. There we go. Now the legs are relatively stiff. Time to put the back on. Guess I'll have to clean this thing up now, as it's pretty dusty. Look at all the dirt on some of these keys. It's really gross. Time to do some organ lessons.